Ace of Spades here with another Diablo 4 Season 6 build, a Singing Bear. This is gonna be one of the best, if not the best, build for Druid next season. Incredibly overpowered, received massive buffs, and probably the most fun build I've ever played in the game. It can shred the highest content in the game, hit to 100, because now that's the equivalent of P200. Destroys the content with only a fraction of the damage. A lot of items for the build, for Druid in fact, are not in the game, in PTR, for a bug. So we are playing with reduced damage. More about that in a second. Before that, a quick word from our sponsor, the Crimson Market. This video is sponsored by the Crimson Market, a Diablo 4 trading website, where every season you can come and buy your boss materials, your items that you need. Everything is incredibly easy to find on this website. On top of that, they're also doing amazing giveaways that you can join completely for free. You can sign up for 1 month of the golden ticket, 30 days, you get a royal tier for free. The royal tier will give you points. The more points you have, the better the chances are to win computers such as this Bumblebee themed desktop computer. You can read all about here how it works. The longer you are part of the club, the more points you earn. You can also earn points by signing up with Steam and playing the game Diablo 4. Thank you very much to the Crimson Market for sponsoring this video. And at the end of the month, they usually give away the computers on streams like Voodija or Rocks. And maybe in the future of mine. So like I said, the build is shredding T100 without having the most important part of the build, Eliminator and Headhunter, which will give us over 1500 willpower, and that's massive because Fleshrender scales with willpower. Right now we have 4000, we will get at least 1,500 more, and we can get more willpower with better items and better GA. We can get to 6000 willpower. Now that's a lot of damage, as Debilitating Roar will both get the damage bonus from willpower, but also the damage bonus from, Fleshrender aspect that scales off willpower. So double dipping on willpower, massive for us. Unfortunately, we do not have that on PTR. Let's get into the build. The build has received insane buffs this season. First and foremost, the Rabid aspect. The Rabid aspect gives us 125% poison damage and allows us to cast poisoning effects during Grizzly Rage as long as we crit. Okay, how will that work? Well, we're gonna utilize a skill like Pulverize, which is also gonna increase our damage in a variety of ways, we'll see later. This build has incredible amount of mechanics and intricacies that I think if you like cooking, you're really gonna enjoy this build as it is extremely well cooked. Okay, this allows us to poison enemies and gives us a massive damage boost to poison. As you already know, probably, Fleshrender is dealing poisoning damage with its effect, meaning that we get the full benefit of that 135%. Massive. Cooldown reduction for the skill is taken care by the Bolt Chieftain aspect. We reduce the cooldown of Debilitating Roar by 6 seconds. This effect procs twice, thanks to Fleshrender, adding all the tags of the skill to its damage. Just to show you guys that even if they nerf that effect, it doesn't matter, because we can still get 4.5 second cooldown reduction from Bolt Chieftain if you put it on Amulet, and I can get the cooldown of the Debilitating Roar to 4 seconds, meaning that, and even lower than that, I actually do not have a lot of GA cooldown reductions or anything. So very easy, even if they fix that unintended mechanic, if it is one, I don't know. But I just wanted to make sure that the build will remain viable no matter what, unnerfable. Now that we removed all the fears you might have had, let's dive into the build. I do not have a big amount of cooldown reduction. Not really need that. As you can see, this is pretty bad. No GA cooldown reduction, no GA cooldown reduction, 2 rolls here of Debilitating Roar cooldown reduction, no chest. I could have a chest with Debilitating Roar cooldown and with also Debilitating Roar ranks, but I do not have that. Shaco takes care of everything. Do you need a GA Shaco? Absolutely not. Like I said, only need 6 seconds, and I have 4 seconds here, so a long way to go. 50% more cooldown than this will still be fine. Okay, so Shaco gives us everything. Gives us ranks to everything, armor, max life. It's an amazing item for the build, and we can finally run this item, because we do not need to run the Old and Dusty Tempest Roar to poison enemies. Now we do it with Grizzly Rage, which also, as Grizzly Rage, gives us a ton of damage, a ton of DR, and it's overall incredible for a lot of things. We have the new item, the Shroud of False Death. This item is amazing. Now, am I resource resistances and armor capped? No. We should talk about how hard it is to cap resistances and armor in Tormented 4, which is the new difficulty of Diablo 4. Now we have more difficulties. We have Torment 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I'm not dying from anything. Nothing can kill me, even with uncapped armor and uncapped resistances. Only thing I've capped is fire and lightning with the gems, and the rest I really do not care. Nothing has killed me. Even bosses with 3 stacks in pits do not kill me, so I really don't care. Technically, Tyrell's Might would be a better investment in terms of like raw stats it would give, but unfortunately, it seems that the damage reduction really doesn't matter for this build, as you have pretty much infinite tankiness. So we're running an item that is pure damage for us. All those +1 to all passive, it's a massive amount of damage and quite a bit, in fact, of damage reduction, which covers for the lack of armor and resistances. We're gonna talk about runes later, and I'm gonna explain how my rune setup will work. Let's go over all the aspects first. We have critical strikes with core skills, increase your attack speed on the gloves, which is a good point for us to talk about how great Pulverize is with this build and how interesting the combination we're running with it are. Alright, one of the big thing about this build is the lack of offensive aspect that you can run. But if you run Pulverize, you achieve a lot of things. First of all, you will achieve permanent uptime of Grizzly Rage, because when you overpower on a boss, you gain 5 seconds extension on your duration of Grizzly Rage. This extension can keep refreshing if you keep overpowering, so we can always remain in Grizzly Rage on bosses thanks to overpowering with the Pulverize and other overpower mechanics, but it is key to have one more overpower. On top of that, we also activate Ring of the Starless Sky, which requires us to spend resources. And of course, also we get 30% attack speed when you run a core skill. And on the Paragon, it allows us to run Ancestral Guidance for 30% more damage. So Pulverize really does an incredible amount of things for us. It's really cool. And it is the skill we use to poison enemies. It's large AoE, and poison's extremely easy. You only have to poison enemies once, and then you can spam Debilitating Roar. Because the point is, when Debilitating Roar starts to do damage, it can crit itself, and it can apply poison again itself. So it's applying rabies when it crits. Very cool setup. On the pants, I run max life willpower armor, cooldown for Debilitating Roar, petrified ration, which we're gonna talk about later from my rune setup. We run damage reduction when you have companions. For companions, I am running personally wolves. You can run whatever companion you want. Some people run poison creeper for the poisoning, but I like my wolves because they block a lot of projectiles, in fact, especially from bosses. For the boots, I'm running Ghost Walker, and I bricked my boots. It should have movement speed, not Digigrate, and it should have Petrify instead of Lucky Hit. Now, the Spirit per second part is the important part. You want to have Spirit per second does not need to be GA, and in fact does not even need Masterworks on it. That's simply because we need a little bit of Spirit generation for Pulverize. That one roll of Spirit is enough. We have to cast one Pulverize roughly every 5 seconds. This is already more than double the Spirit you need, so you're more than covered in terms of Spirit generation with that. Fleshrender, prioritize one with a high aspect damage. Try to get the maxed out damage aspect on it, which is 2.6. The amulet, the most important part of the build, you need to have GA willpower. If you can triple crit on it, it's gonna be over 40% willpower. That's an insane amount of willpower. I do not know why willpower is so OP, but now willpower is insane. And remember, we are missing the 2 glyphs that will give us 1500 willpower, so whew, that's gonna be a lot of damage. We are running the Rabbit Bear on it, and I have the Debilitating Roar cooldown on it, and instead of Cataclysm cooldown, I was testing Cataclysm, you can have critical strike damage, or you can have movement speed, whatever you like. Ring of the Starless Sky, 50% damage increase, enough said. You want attack speed and crit chance if you can GA. Again, now every mythic you get has GA on them, so they're very good value. You have the Bold Chieftain aspect on a ring. You want to try to get GA willpower, attack speed, crit chance. We have resource generation and critical strike damage. I like the resource generation over spirit cost reduction, because you want Pulverize kind of to cost resources so that it can proc Ancestral Guidance more frequently. So I rather get more resources rather than reduce the cost. Overall, it means more Ancestral Guidance procs. On the totem, I have cooldown reduction, maximum life willpower. If you have enough cooldown reduction, don't run cooldown reduction here. Run crit chance. which would be, you know, much better damage. Critical strike damage, aspect, tempering, and here I have chance from all to hit twice, which is not needed. You can run two things. Either pulverize hits twice, or rabies duration. Those two things work very well, both of them. Alright, let's take a look about the boons that we run. But before that, actually, I forgot about the runes. So for runes, I have a very cool setup. I have this one where calls to arms, and then I have enhanced Warcry. This one procs gives me 50 resources to cast Warcry whenever I use a skill with cooldown. Debilitating Roar has a cooldown. Every time you cast it, you get 50 resources. This allows us to have Warcry on permanent uptime. It is movement speed and 45% damage, 25% from the Warcry, and I believe 20% from having Berserking. So incredible value from this item. Rune combination, forgive me. My second combination of runes is getting 150 resources when you cast a skill from a different class, Warcry, and allows me to cast Petrify. Now the Petrify should have Petrify duration on all of your items. So on gloves, on your pants, and on our boots, we should have Petrify duration, and that pretty much means permanent uptime, especially on bosses. Very good value. My opinion, it's better than willpower gems, and Petrify is up pretty much all the time. Alright guys, let's take a look at the build and the skills and how it's played, and then talent 3. As you can see right now, my Petrify is going off by itself. That's due to how these gems interacts with the chest. So it keeps proccing stealth being a rogue skill, so it keeps proccing Petrify. This is semi-useful when you're playing in dungeon, but you know. Anyway, for this class we're running Cyclone Armor, we're running Wolves, and we're running Bloodhowl. Those skills are not gonna be active in Grizzly Rage, and you're gonna be wondering, are they worth and do they work? Yes, Cyclone Armor will stay as a buff, so it will work passively. Bloodhowl is useful, and Wolves will remain active and are important for your aspect. Now, how to play? First thing you wanna do is utilize your Bloodhowl and keep shapeshifting and make sure you get 6 stacks of your quick shift bonus. Once you get 6 stacks of your quick shift bonus, then you can activate your Grizzly Rage. Because at that point you're not gonna be able to change your shape anymore, right? Okay. So now you understand why we're running that. That's pretty much it for the gameplay. At this point you just press Pulverize and Debilitating Roar. That's the only thing you do. Every few seconds, a pulve. Alright, let's talk about the skill points and where to put them. The basic attack doesn't matter. We are running 3 points in Iron Fur with Pulverize that reduces damage of enemies. We are running full points in Vigilance. We're getting points in Ascension Fortitude and in Cyclone Armor. We are using damage increased when using a defensive skill. Full points in Debilitating Roar with damage increase passive. We are playing both Feral Aptitude and also Nature's Reach. We have increased damage both to close damage and to distant damage. We are running Provocation, Mending, we're running full points, but full passive of Rabies, but not full points. The 5 out of 5 is due to Shaco. We are running Envenom, all the points, 3 points defensive posture with 2 points in Unrestrained for the SCCs, and we're running Catastrophe for a little bit of damage when you press Grizzly Rage first. We're running Quick Shift, Heightened Senses, 1 point in Grizzly Rage, full passive, and Bastard Rampage. This does not work with Petrify, unfortunately. So if you're thinking that casting Petrify with the pants, the runes would work with that, it does not. But you know, that answered that question. For boons, I have crit chance because my crit chance is low. If your attack speed is uncapped, you can go attack speed, which it's probably gonna be better. If you are very geared, attack speed is gonna be better than crit chance. I have low crit chance because my gear is bad, but when you have enough crit chance, attack speed would be the best one, as it is, you know, higher number. We have damage reduction, crit damage you must run, ultimate skill duration, and also I have Masochist. It's the only thing that is worth running. It's okay, you get a little bit of healing from Pulverize. The Paragon board, I'm gonna give you my Paragon board, but my Paragon board is wrong, as we are not playing with Eliminator and Headhunter and PTR. But it's gonna be there for Season 6. For now, you can use this on PTR and have fun with it. On the first one, we're running Spirit. On the second one, we are running Fang and Claw in Survival Instinct. We are running very unoptimized Paragon boards, by the way, guys. It's just PTR. as you can see here, I could remove the points and attach another board. But again, PTR, I'm just moving things around. This is my first draft of the build. We have Werebear on the second board, which is Item Malice. This is Inner Beast, and I have Keeper in it. We get attack speed, it's really good. Magic resistance, it's good. Attack speed, you know. Keeper is a beast. We have Ancestral Guidance on the last board, and I take Tracker for it. Now, those are the glyphs you want to run, and all the nodes that you want to run, the legendary nodes, are mandatory. So those are the 5 boards. There can be optimization to be made, and especially if they ever give us those glyphs, then the build would be on 4x damage. I hope you guys enjoyed the build and the cooking, and this build is going to be top tier next season. Very excited about it. Hope you guys enjoyed it,